Hello and welcome to the UTB Blogcast number 69. We are here tonight with Dave, Alpha, Brad, and Roy. Say hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
Hello, boys.
All right. Hello, boys. Yeah, I guess you got to do that now, don't you?
We're going to start off tonight with some news out of the CES 2017. And probably the most exciting for all of us device heads here is the Mercury. So who wants to talk about what their first opinion is on the Mercury?
Beautiful. Sorry.
Amazing.
I think the Mercury, I agree. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I think it's a true BlackBerry looking device from the physical keyboard straight through the rest of the design on the rest of the phone. And I am extremely stoked about this phone. So much so that I have actually canceled my order for the DTEC 60, and I am holding out to get the Mercury.
Really?
Yes. I need that phone. I took that money that I was using for the DTEC 60, canceled the order, put it aside. I'm waiting for the Mercury. That phone looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing, and I have to have that phone in my life. I have to.
Well, I absolutely do love the looks of it. I think it's sort of they took some of the design look from the Passport SE. The keyboard looks, as beautiful and wonderful as the Passport. Time will tell. I really like the idea that they embedded a fingerprint scanner in the space bar. And the form factor to me is very interesting because it's, what do they say? Is it 3x2 or 4x5? It's not 16x9-ish, but it's
4x5, I think.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting form factor. Nickel says some of the apps that you want to use might not be jigged up for that aspect ratio, but in my travels with different apps, it's usually something you can contact the developer for, and they can take care of that fairly quickly. But anyway, it does look like a fairly killer device. If I hadn't got the DTEC 60, I'd probably get that. But we shall see. I'm such a crazy person when it comes to new phones coming out.
I've been waiting for the Mercury since I found out it was the next keyboard device. So I'm excited to see it, and I'm glad that it's getting the attention that it's getting because it's certainly deserved.
Yeah. So I think Eric is probably crazy about a Mercury and wants to drive it up and down the road or something. No? Anyone? Moving right along then.
Like you said, that phone takes the best parts of so many other phones. I mean, you've got, it looks like the SE as far as the top and the sides go. It's got that rounded edge that we're used to seeing. I almost hate to say it, like on the iPhone. So you know that the iPhone people are going to look at that and go, oh, that's cool. To me, what I absolutely love about it is that big camera on the back. It's like there's so many of these phones nowadays. You look at them and they've just got, the little lens, and it's just a tiny little thing. And that's what I loved about the SE. That's what I love about the Priv is it is, there's no denying there's a camera there. And I don't care if it's just a beefy piece of plastic around it. It looks tough. That looks like it's meant for business. And regardless of what the internals are on that phone, that's got to be the best looking BlackBerry I have ever seen. And I want that phone bad.
First of all, it's a 4-row device. So it's gonna be great. And
yes,
like Brett said, it looks very, very luxury phone. And we know it will not cost much above $500, I think. it's amazing phone. I already told the person I need to talk with about BlackBerry devices that this is my next phone, and I will do whatever I need to get one.
I don't know if I'd be saying that in public, Roy.
But I can say I can say that I talked with Brad like I think 1 year ago or less, and I talked about with him about the Roam device. I remember that I told him that BlackBerry are going to have an Android physical keyboard device, and I'm so happy to see that it's real and it's here. I think in the beginning of March, we will see the device go to the market.
For those of us that have been on Passport and then other phones and whatnot, I have a question for you. Because when I jumped, what's that?
I think we've all been on other phones.
Well, but I mean, since then, yeah, whatever. Okay, it took me a good 2 weeks, I'd say, to get used to that Passport keyboard, and by the end of it, I loved that keyboard, and the whole fourth virtual roll that I couldn't get used to during those initial 2 weeks turned into something that I thought made me much faster and better, and I absolutely loved it while I was using it. Well, moving over to the Priv as my primary device and having the Classic as a secondary device for a while and just falling back into that muscle memory of the 4-row keyboard, I tried using my Passport again because I've been using the Leap as my secondary phone recently. I can't use the keyboard anymore. Like I seriously just, my speed and my accuracy with the 4-row keyboard, back to what, I spent 10 years using before I ever tried the Passport keyboard. It just overwhelms anything that I was ever at on the Passport.
Brad, you used the Z10 device?
Yes.
And before
that was my
you
first
used the bold or a curve, was a physical keyboard?
I had a bold and I had the torches.
Okay, so you already experienced this. You had a physical keyboard, you moved to a full touch screen device, and then you moved again to the Passport, and then now you had a Classic. So I think in 1 week, you will be happy again with your full keyboard device.
No, I'm using a full keyboard. That's why I use the Priv and I use the physical keyboard. And at this point, and I wouldn't say that at the beginning, and if you go back and you listen to these blogcasts, you'll hear me complaining about it. But to me, the Priv keyboard is the best keyboard I've used on a phone right now. I love the Priv keyboard. And the people that say it's cramped, those are people that came from the Passport. And compared to the Passport, it is cramped. But compared to all of our old curves and torches and bolds and everything that we had before, this is twice the size of all those that we used to love, right? I'm just saying that, going to the 3-row keyboard, it took me a while to learn, and I was a huge supporter of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to it. I want to stay on a 4-row keyboard.
Yeah, the Mercury is 4-row, I think. If I look at the picture. I think the Mercury is, I hope they will give him the bold name, because
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
To not leave that in the past, take that with us.
But it's definitely a bold upgrade.
I was mucking around with my Passport today, making an Android app work on it that I was told wasn't going to work on it. And of course, you should never tell me I can't do something. So anyway, there I was mucking around and getting it working. And I'm going, God, I love this thing, man. I just love the keyboard on it. It feels so good. And I do love the space on it. So anyway, yes. Hardware keyboards.
Yeah, I gotta say that yes, hardware keyboards do rock. And I gotta say, I love the Priv keyboard. To me, I think the password keyboard is best, but Priv keyboard is a close second, and I have a feeling that once I get my hands on that Mercury, that is definitely going to be my favorite keyboard device.
And you're going to cruise it up and down the road.
I also think that the Mercury is the first real device that will be pointed to BlackBerryans that leave BlackBerry for Android devices, but still misses the physical keyboard. This is the first real physical keyboard that BlackBerry make for with Android.
So what do you guys think? Are we going to see the 625 sock on this thing, or is there going to be a surprise?
I am hoping that there'll be a surprise and we'll see the SD820 or the SD821. I know that's probably just wishful thinking, but being that there were no specs given, no spec information given on the device whatsoever, I'm hoping that they just switch it over and it has an SD820 or an SD821. I think that would be a pleasant surprise and a huge plus for the BlackBerry Mercury. Although with a 1080p screen and a SD625 and the size of the battery that is rumored to have, that thing is going to have phenomenal battery life. Phenomenal battery life.
But
that's what makes me sort of think that the preliminary information that we've seen is probably what it's going to be. And I don't want to bust any balloons or anything, and I'm not really a betting guy, but I kind of think it might be a 625. And I kind of think for those reasons that you just mentioned, that's what it'll come out with. And it'll do a very, very, very good and serviceable job. And if there's one thing I like out of my smartphone after speed and smooth operation, it's battery life.
Yeah, I go ahead, Ray.
No, you started.
I agree with what Dave is saying, sort of also because one of the things that TCL said that they're going to focus on that's going to be a feature for the BlackBerry devices is reliability, and you just can't have a reliable device if it has crappy battery. A crappy battery. So I think it may be the SD625 because, like I said, with the 1080p screen, the rumored battery it's supposed to have in that SD625, we will see some phenomenal battery life out of that thing, which will make it extremely reliable.
And a killer enterprise fleet machine. Killer.
What do you think about that? That we have a device that people touched it, play with it, and the only thing we know that it's an Android 7 device. We don't have any specs, official specs. We don't have an official name. TCL just throw it on us, and
that certainly is a departure from what anything BlackBerry has ever done in the past, because they've always, kept their cards close to their chest and not wanted to leak anything or put anything out there before they feel it's ready. And it's like TCL is just like, rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get this thing going. Let's see what people think about this machine and its design and whatever. We're not going to tell you everything, but check this thing out. And people got to touch it and hold it and take videos of it and put it all over the internet. And, it's a complete departure from the way things have gone in the past. I think. I don't know what you guys think. It's kind of
I take that as a positive because it means that they are excited. I mean, you look at TCL right now, BlackBerry's all over everything they have. It's like you look at their Twitter IDs, you look at their websites. BlackBerry's right there with Alcatel. They're proud of it. They're making their hashtags of it. And remember when we spoke to Marty Beard, he was talking about these partners are licensing this name, this software. They want to get their product out as fast as they can. And here was a great opportunity to put it out. And look at all the positive that came out of it. I mean,
that's right. I haven't seen a
it's been
crappy
great
thing
so far.
Yeah, I haven't seen a crappy thing mentioned really. Well, unless you go to, well, never mind. Their name, we won't bring them up. But yeah, it's obvious that they have a vested interest, which is a really cool. I hadn't really thought about this, but now you've got another whole whack of cheerleaders going, you know, yeah, let's bring this thing out. Let's show some people. Let's kick some ass and take some names, you know. And you've got more people caring about putting something out, and you know, all news is good news.
More people with more money to market.
Yeah, advertising, and even if it's word of mouth. I mean, look at what happened this week. Holy crap, it's everywhere, and it's most all of it is positive.
Yeah, this if I didn't know any better, I'd say this was a great marketing ploy. How much news is getting put out there about the Mercury? How much of it is positive? Like Dave has been saying, I haven't seen anything negative about it. And I think it's a really good move, and I think it's just the beginning of the kind of marketing we'll see for BlackBerry devices going forward.
Yeah, can't wait.
It's been 2 weeks since our last cast, I think, right? And in the last 2 weeks, we heard that maybe the device will come exclusively to Verizon. So, and we wrote about it in UTB that maybe TCL going to bring back BlackBerry to the carriers, and it's going to be interesting if they do.
I saw an interview with the TCL vice president. He said that that he is looking to get the device onto carriers, plural. So hopefully we will definitely see this device on carriers. I personally don't buy from carriers anymore. I'd rather go the unlocked route for obvious reasons. But I think it'll be a great thing if we do get this onto carriers. It can only be good things for BlackBerry if this gets onto carriers.
Absolutely. Did Wayno just show up?
He did. Well, his flag did.
Yeah, I think he arrived in a puff of smoke or something.
You can't keep me away, guys. I'm here. I'm just trying to get my headphones set up. Be with you in a sec.
Yes, dear. All right, well, did we beat that one up or what?
I think so.
What's up next?
Well, let's go from the device to the vehicle and talk about what QNX showed off at CES.
Yeah, well, there's a big subject. They brought out or trotted out or exposed their next generation of development, and I think they're calling it QNX SDP 7, so Software Development Platform 7.0. And it seems to revolve around, I think they started to do work on 64-bit processing a year and a half ago, or maybe a little bit more. And so here's the development platform for 64-bit processing. And you can only imagine how much that is required in what they're doing now for getting in tight with and furthering the development of autonomous vehicles. So along with that 64-bit processing development platform, here's the first realization of what we spoke about more than a year ago, which was the QNX hypervisor. And so what we have here now is a beautifully laid out, high quality and secure, fast platform that autonomous vehicle makers or any kind of vehicle maker, even standard vehicles, can use to safely have things like your infotainment center separated from your your dash. So if you look at what is it, an Audi? I think at Audi they've had, and Bentley, they've had a couple of shows where if you're looking at your dash, and you typically see mechanical needles rising as you go faster, because I always go faster, and another needle that represents your tachometer or whatever. Well, these guys are representing it in graphics. Okay, so there is no physical needle, and those things, although they look the same, it's all happening in graphics in relationship to what's going on with the engine. So if you can imagine Unix hypervisor being the bed, then your graphics display for your dash is one of the hypervisor instances. And I don't have three hands, but imagine this other slice, this other instance in the hypervisor being your infotainment center. Of course, you can have more of them, but there's just two things, right? And so what's happening on your dash is a completely separate computing instance than what's happening in your infotainment center. Why does that matter? Well, first of all, they are separate from each other. So a problem with one does not affect the other. If you have a problem with your infotainment center, you can reboot it and start it up again, and you're not affecting your dash, right? So it's a security thing. It's keeping what's happening, and of course, there's many more things going on in your vehicle, but that's just an example. And then those things are completely separated from the underlying OS, which is QNX, of course, which is running your vehicle. And so those things can't get at running your vehicle, like the infamous Jeep hack type thing. Those issues can't get to the core. That's the beauty of the way they have this thing laid out, in very simplistic terms anyway. I'm going to shut up now.
Yeah.
So in layman's terms, it's basically the one OS running the two systems, but separately?
Yeah. If anybody's ever been familiar with VMware, that's probably the most platform on planet Earth to create a hypervisor system where you have one physical box, one physical machine, one physical computer that can run multiple instances. So that this instance is a Windows server, this instance is a Linux server, this instance is this and that, and they're all like separate computers but running on one piece of hardware. That's what QNX is doing. So one instance can't affect what's happening on the other instance. They're independent, even though they're running on the same hardware. Excellent idea.
Did they say
So,
that's what they're doing, or are you assuming that's what they're doing?
That is exactly what they're doing. This is the first, well, I don't know if it's the first, but it's the first I've seen where they've actually said the hypervisor is in this situation, and one of the hypervisor instances is for your infotainment system, which could be Android Auto, and it could be Apple's CarPlay, right? Who cares? They can do both, or either, or whatever. And then another instance is that graphic display, which used to be your needles. And you'll have another display in your car, if that's what you bought in your car, and it'll be your maps or whatever, or maybe the maps will be in your
Infotainment system.
dash, yeah, in your dash or in your infotainment system. It'll depend on who you're working with and how you want it to look and whatever. But as long as you have enough processing power and enough RAM, you can run as many instances as you want or need, and they're all independent of each other. Yes, that is exactly what they said. That's what they're doing.
I'm out of the loop. I thought you were just reverting back to UTB Blogcast #1 where you were talking about the hypervisor again.
No, I was really freaked out about the hypervisor when they brought it out or when they first started talking about it, because it was like right up our alley at work. That's what we do at the office. And so it was intriguing to me. And back then I'm going, wow, what could you do with this passport in my hand? You could have another instance of Android on it or some other damn thing. Of course, that's not what they created it for, and that's not what we're seeing it implemented for. But it is exactly what the hypervisor was intended to do, and this is brilliant.
I just think it's great that, BlackBerry's whole methodology throughout this is to build the base, because everything they're doing with this car stuff, it's not just car. This new Unix, I forget the numbers. I'm out of the loop right now, but was it 7 point? Whatever.
Yeah, SDP 7.0.
There you go. It can also be used for medical equipment. It can be used for blah, for blah, for blah, and it's like, yeah, it's great that, we're talking about cars. Cars are huge right now. We know what's going on with cars. Everybody's wanting to have these autonomous cars, but that's not where it's going to stop for BlackBerry. This same operating system can be used for all these various things. We said it, a year ago, forever ago, that BlackBerry is going to be at the center of the IoT, and now it's happening. It's like all these other people might be trying to throw their stuff together, but look at Apple CarPlay, look at Android Auto. They're running on top of QNX. It's like, who has the majority of cars out there? QNX does. It's awesome that, what we were hoping for is coming to fruition right now.
Yeah. And by the way, you've got a bit of a microphone problem there, pal. So it's interesting that they opened up a testing center. That's pretty cool. I think people have probably seen videos of the car going around and around the parking. It's like a medium-sized parking lot or whatever, and they carved up lanes and whatever is in there, and it's cool to see that. Have you ever seen that rotating piece of equipment on top of the car? You've probably seen it on other machines like in Google Car or whatever it is. And that piece of gear is called Lidar, Lidar, and it's like using a laser to understand distance and 3D. You're getting a 3D look at what's around you, 360 degrees kind of thing, using a laser, and that's how proximity is understood. That's how the car can see down the road that there's a curve coming up and whatnot. It's actually pretty cool. Never intended to be used in that way. Probably 5 years ago, it was always used for mapping. Well, other things too, but Lidar was its first use, I think. Anyway, pretty damn cool.
I believe the police actually use it for speed detection too, out here in Australia.
Yeah, and to see if you're lying, because it's Lidar. I could swear you were going over 50 miles an hour, boy. No, sir, I wasn't. Okay, well, yeah. Next.
We got Rudy Giuliani, partnered with BlackBerry to push for cybersecurity.
You know, I never knew about this guy until the outrageously unfortunate events of 9/11. And when he first started to talk and speak about how to organize things and get people going again and whatnot, just the cool nature of this cat and the logic and the way he spoke or whatever, I became a total Rudy Giuliani fan.
We have shirts of Rudy Giuliani. And
What's that?
You have shirts and hats. You're a fan.
No, I don't have shirts and hats at all. Let's just say, and whatever, some things change. But anyway, I had and have an awful lot of respect for the guy just because of the things he's done in the past. And it's interesting that after that horrifying incident, you know, he within a couple of years or whatever started up this company and interested in talking about security. And I don't know if anybody saw the video that he did with John Chen. Was it on Bloomberg? I think it was. And he was into the security thing for obvious reasons. And then he said it sort of quickly grew into cybersecurity. And it's so cool that he goes zing straight to BlackBerry to help himself, the people he works with, and everybody else get more secure. I mean, smart. Way to go. It's exactly what, again, like Brad brought up with Marty Beard on our cast a few weeks ago. He said, and he said it loud and clear more than once, cybersecurity. And so here we go. Here's the kickoff in this huge football game called cybersecurity, and they're right into it. Yeah, way to go.
This has been rather polarizing with our readers, though. It caused quite the discussion on our channel.
I think it's been polarizing for Burke.
Yeah, and right on, Burke. But the thing is that I have completely divorced myself from thinking about it in any political way. I don't care. That's got nothing to do with it, as far as I'm concerned. We're talking about a business partnership with a laser focus on cybersecurity. That's what I'm looking at, and I applaud the cooperation and the benefits that I think that can come out of it. Both of the people that made those deals have a hell of a lot of connections, and I think we're going to see some good business out of this.
Yeah. And we know that cybersecurity is an industry that can make a lot of money, a lot of billions of dollars to BlackBerry, because I think more than $80 billion was spent by companies this year on cybersecurity, and it's going to be more than double in the next 3 or 4 years. BlackBerry thinking how to make money, and it's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Brad.
I just want to comment on the Giuliani thing because Burke is now drunk.
Here we go.
Here's the thing. Giuliani was Americans' mayor. During the worst attack on United States soil, Giuliani was a hero to the people. He was amazing. And regardless of anything that's happened recently with Trump, because that is the polarizing thing, people love or hate Trump, and because he's been for Trump, everybody wants to forget everything that Giuliani's done, and they want to pull up all this dirt and whatnot, and I don't even know what he's talking about, perks. I don't know. Giuliani was a hero. That doesn't change. And regardless of what people think about our current administration, I mean, it's like, I'm not going to sit here and be upset that, you know, BlackBerry is making a business deal to maybe, you know what they should do? They should go after John Podesta and say, we can actually secure your email, you know, and we'll teach you how to use a password other than password. And then, you know, they could work with them. And I won't sit here and that's all I'm going to say. I mean, Giuliani was a hero. He's always going to be a hero. People's politics can wash away on that point. And I'm very excited that BlackBerry is working with someone that is still seen as a hero by, you know, Americans that care about our country.
At least 50% of the population.
Yeah.
Or something. No, I completely agree with you, and you and I have our differing views on some other matters.
We're 180
I completely agree with you
from each other. You just Burke, Dave, and I fight about.
I said it in a Canadian way. Okay,
yeah.
Can't you just accept?
No, I think Dave and I would gladly,
you know,
about have a beer, but we would also kill each other over American politics. So take that for what it is.
Yeah, but the point is, I completely agree with you about the man and what he's done and how he cleaned up the frickin' state, or not the state, but the city. You know, it wiped out a lot of crime, and so I got to hand it to the guy. You did an excellent job. And so, what people think of him over the last year, I'm putting that in a box and closing it, because to me, it has nothing to do with what he can get done, the people he knows, the deal that he's made with BlackBerry. All of that is good news, and I'm looking forward to it.
You know, I bet you if we wanted to sit the time and flip through the channel, remember when Giuliani came and spoke for BlackBerry not too long ago, but before the whole election rigmarole?
Yeah, it was like a couple months ago.
Yeah, I have a feeling the majority of people that are upset about Giuliani now were very excited about it at that point.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would make that bet.
Yeah, not sure. Well, maybe we'll put up a poll later.
No, someone just needs to sit there and flip through our channel a really, really long way.
Yeah, it's not me. Anyway, nothing but good news as far as I'm concerned. But hey, anybody who has a differing opinion is welcome to, you know, say so down in the comments, because we all love to hear.
Well, better yet, join our forums and start the conversation there.
When I'm going to go back and edit the video to where when Dave's doing this, he's not actually speaking.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Alpha got it. Okay, well, so what's next on the list?
Then New Year wishes, because we're 2 weeks since our last blogcast, and a lot of stuff that we didn't talk about. We podcast about it, we wrote it about it in UTB, but 2017 is here, and what do you think BlackBerry will do? What will bring BlackBerry? What will make BlackBerry great again? If you want to use a catchphrase from the last elections.
I don't know, but I don't think we're going to have red hats. We'll have to have black hats.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Some black hats. It was, and I don't want to make it like we're stealing from anybody. It was Barry Reporter, the other BlackBerry Brad out there, that he wrote a post, and it was a good post, but I think it upset 50% of the population, where he said, "Let's make BlackBerry great again." Those would be some good hats.
Yeah. Hey, what was I going to say before we dove in on this? Did anybody see, yeah, or did we blog about it, or I forget. Anyway, there was a link running around about how D-Link, I think it is getting scrutinized or sued or something like that, because I think the government is unimpressed about how lax their efforts are to keep their things secure, and those things are stuff like routers. And if you know anything about D-Link, you know, you can get a webcam or various and other sundry things.
Yeah, Rob put it up on the site, Dave.
That's right. So that's right. So
UTBblogs.com.
The thing that I wanted to bring up about that, you smart ass.
You should try reading it sometime.
You know, some of us work. I don't know about you slackers, but I work. Anyway, the thing I was going to bring up about that was, again, hearkening back to Marty Beard's visit on our show, was that BlackBerry is very interested in getting into having, BlackBerry inside things. So the point I'm trying to make is, here we are. This is the exact scenario he was talking about. Excuse me. If those cameras and those routers had BlackBerry inside, and we don't know what that really is yet, but imagine, some kind of QNX hardened, secure layer or operating system inside those devices, then I don't think D-Link would be in the position of defense that they're in. They're and right now I think they're going poo-poo. This isn't true. You can't paint me with that. Like a lot of corporations would, if they didn't have a leg to stand on. But that's exactly what Marty was talking about. This is exactly the business that they want to get into as far as the IoT, Internet of Things, goes. That thermostat on your wall,
And I will add, I read a few days ago about someone that being hacked. Hackers hacked to his Android TV, and I don't want to imagine what happened if someone will hack to my smart TV.
What are you watching?
Yeah.
No,
just what did you click on, Roy?
They blocked.
I said on the remote, man. I said on the remote. Huh?
They blocked the TV and asked for ransom to free the TV again. And I think with BlackBerry inside or BlackBerry Secure, things like this will not happen. And I'm willing to pay more for TV that is have the BlackBerry inside factor.
Well, let's be honest about that, because I think I put the kibosh on somebody blogging that because of the slant that we would have taken. That FBI warning, it's not even malware, it's ransomware, is really nothing else than an app. It's not hacking into the device. It is not getting root access. It's not rooting your phone. All it is it's you're being phished. You're being tricked into giving permission.
BlackBerry Safeguard.
BlackBerry would be affected by this. Well, that's why I'm saying we got to be honest, because what this takes is user intervention to allow this app to take effect. Now, this app is easily removed. All you have to do is boot into safe mode and remove it. The problem that person was having with that smart TV was that I believe it was LG wouldn't tell them how to reset their TV. Like, that was something that they were not allowing the consumer to have. So all these people are at risk of this if they do something stupid with their phone, or with their TV, which is exactly how you get this ransomware on your phone. You do something stupid. You're allowing an app access that it shouldn't have, and you're getting an app from a third party that shouldn't be trusted, or you're clicking a link in an email. So, I mean, it's the user is doing something stupid. This isn't something that BlackBerry security would really protect you from, because it's not truly a security issue. It's somebody is installing an app on their phone and allowing it to do something. Just like people install Facebook on their phone, knowing that it's going to track you, it's going to listen to you, it's going to do this and this and this, all these evil things, but they're allowing it to happen. This goes back to an argument I had with Monkey and Strength something other on our channel. You know, the difference between privacy and security. You know, security is stopping those hacks. It's stopping people from getting in and doing stuff to your phone that you don't want them to do. Privacy is your choice. Are you choosing to put Facebook on your phone? Are you choosing to do something stupid and put an app on your phone that's going to take over your home screen? Because that's all it is. It's just an app that takes over your home screen. I just want us to be honest on that. You know, I don't want it to be like, oh, BlackBerry is going to protect you from being stupid. No.
Look,
nobody can protect you.
I didn't drive all the way home after work. Wait to come on this blogcast just to be honest, okay? Anyway, I do have personal experience. I won't go into horrible details for obvious reasons, but at work we did have a ransomware incident. But we're absolutely vigilant on how we do our backups and how often we do them, which is daily. And so the effect on us was extremely minimal. We had a minor amount of interruption at the office, and it's like what Brad says. Somebody in our office got an email with an attachment, and the email said, here is your invoice, and we're expecting payment in whatever it is, and there's an attachment. And so unfortunately, the person who opened the email didn't recognize that the sender had nothing to do with us at all, and double clicked on the attachment, and that attachment just raced through his computer completely and locked up all of the files on it, and then started looking at the network and started doing it to whatever network addresses he had as well inside our corporation, and that's when we caught it. But anyway, that's just goes to what that was a human choice to do something that, I mean, how do you can't tell everybody don't do anything you find suspicious. What does that mean? This person's level of suspicion is down here, and this guy's is up here. I mean, there's no consistency. So that's how dangerous that junk is.
That's what she said.
Exactly.
Anyone have another topic for us? Something that you want to talk about?
Who's yelling at us on the channels or whatever?
That's a good idea. Go look at that, because I can jump up on the soapbox.
Maybe everybody's sleeping, like Erica wants to or something.
I'm still awake.
Are you? But are you in bed?
No.
Hey! This is a family program.
I know. I just thought she might be under the covers, going, "Oh yeah, I can." Push the off air button. Yeah.
Morpheus on the channel. We need financial institutions and Fortune 500 companies to start demanding more from iOS and Android in terms of app security. Criminals only need a computer rather than a shotgun to rob a bank.
Well, that's true. I mean, sure, let's face it. iOS, Apple, what do they have for security? They have what they say is encryption on their device. They liken it to the way BlackBerry handles the root of trust, but they fail miserably at it because a week after they bring something out, somebody roots it.
A week, few hours after.
Yeah, within 24 hours typically.
Yeah, and same thing with Google's Pixel. That was gone in 60 seconds and whatnot. So you know, should we be doing something about that, or should we just be saying, guys, make whatever stuff you want, but if you want to be secure with it, here, sign in to this BlackBerry account, you know, UEM or whatever, and you'll be 10 times better off than you were before, because it's not going to stop. At least not in the near future. These things, which are not as secure as BlackBerry things, are not going to stop for the foreseeable future. And what BlackBerry has is the right idea, and that's how you secure it. So, you know, as far as BYOD, bring your own device to work, that's where BlackBerry has a huge play with their UEM. It used to be BEZ. You know. Samsung has their Knox, which was a nice try, and they needed BlackBerry to finish that off for them. Very nice. And then if you want true end-to-end security, you're going to have a BlackBerry device in your hand. Yeah, end-to-end encryption is a good thing, but keeping your data safe in a corporation is critical, and it's only going to become more critical as we all do more and more computing on our mobile devices.
John Batchelor on the channel. Here's the proof we need that this was a good idea. He says, be sure to mention that Giuliani just mentioned BlackBerry twice on Fox's Hannity show about using software to protect against hacking. So he's out there getting the BlackBerry name out. The only question I have for John Batchelor is, what are you doing watching Hannity while the UTB Blogcast is on?
What is Hannity?
All right.
It's a show on Fox.
Okay.
So apparently Giuliani is on Fox News talking about BlackBerry.
Yeah.
So that's another group of people that are going to
hear
hear
about
about
explaining that, because I thought it was like, you know, this is a Hannity, and that's another Hannity. I got two of them.
Rudy Giuliani is on CNN instead of being on UTB. Wow.
Yeah, what's up with that?
There's a wide difference between Fox and CNN. Yeah. If you watch both of them, you should get the true story. Just know that they're both on opposite sides and very erratic.
Yeah, that's it. That's our next special guest is going to be Rudy Giuliani.
We will need a video of Rudy Giuliani talking about BlackBerry on CNN.
Or something.
And a couple of tweets. And in a month, we will interview him.
Yeah.
Hey, and you know, if we didn't... Okay.
What? Merck has a question. He wants to know, how confident are we that the Alpha Mercury that we've seen is the final build, and is there anything we would change?
I'm not confident at all.
Well, it's not a final build. That was stated. It was only an alpha device. I think we'll see a couple of minor changes, but nothing too drastic.
Well, we know it's an alpha device because he canceled his DTEC order and he's saving his money for it.
And the device already had some changes. I know the original Mercury or Rome device had a private button that can make your device private, and we don't see the...
I have one of those.
Yeah. And what I expected from TCL on CS, I guess I have 2 more days to reveal the lineup of the next BlackBerry. How much more BlackBerry devices, what kind of BlackBerry devices we are going to see in the upcoming year. And
Do you think we're going to see that
I
at
think
CES,
that was
or do you
announced,
think we're going to see that at
in a-
Mobile World Congress?
Yeah, it's at
I think we're
Mobile
gonna
World
see that at-
Congress. I did
Glad we-
see a video that they were going to announce the new BlackBerry at Mobile World Congress, and also possibly another device, and also plans of future devices. So
In the
I
press
think it's going to
release.
be. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, no, talk, Wayne, talk.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
no.
it's going to be Mobile World. It's going to be Mobile World Congress, where we'll hear more about everything that we need to know about the Mercury, as well as future BlackBerry devices. I believe that's what
I think that's where
Steve
they're
said.
going to tell us we have one.
Here's an interesting point. They're saying that the Mercury was just a name that was given. It's not the specific name. But there was the tweet by the TCL CEO, Steve, with a couple of capital letters in one of the words of his tweet, and which highlighted press. So I'm thinking it may have something to do with press.
I don't know. Was he teasing the press with this, or what was he doing? You know.
You know what? You know what he could have been, and this is probably just this is probably a long shot and wishful thinking, but remember BlackBerry's Sure Press technology on the Storm?
Yeah.
Maybe it's been perfected, changed up in such a way, and there's going to be a new BlackBerry device that comes out with the Sure Press technology on it. I think
That
pretty
would be
impressive.
really.
I think that tweet, there's more to it than meets the eye.
That would
think
cause
Transformers.
That would cause a whole storm of controversy.
My guess it will be DTX70 or Bold.
The BlackBerry press.
Yeah,
I would love to see the Sure Press technology come back out again. I personally wasn't too big a fan of the Storm, but I did like the Sure Press technology. I thought that that was amazing. It was very innovative. Nobody had done anything like that, and see now, like Apple's Force Touch is Sure Press technology was a precursor to it. So
Yeah, it's
I know there's a lot of
derivative of
Apple
Sure Press.
fans. Yeah, so I know a lot of Apple fans don't believe it or don't like to hear it or are ignorant of that fact. But it's basically where Force Touch came from.
Small I, capital
That's
G
right.
on ignorant. Okay.
that would be ignorant.
Yeah, so the headline was TCL teases impressively designed BlackBerry. So I think there's definitely something in that.
Well, okay.
I just wait till the Mercury gets released. I need to get it in my hands, like I said, for the DTX60 after seeing so many videos, and these were just hands-on that really didn't show us too much about the design, how the device looked, to make me go, I don't need the DTX60, which is a phenomenal device.
Yeah.
I can't deny that is a phenomenal device, but I gotta face it, I am a physical keyboard junkie, and that physical keyboard I just need in my life.
Yeah, as long as BlackBerry's putting out physical keyboards, I know exactly what devices I'll be looking at. I'm not going back to full touch again, unless I have to at some point in time, and I don't see that being the case at any point.
I am. I believe I'm agreeing with you on this one, Brad. Especially after seeing the Mercury. Yeah, as long as BlackBerry, as long as they're putting out physical keyboard devices, that's where I'm at. It's something about that physical keyboard. I cannot give it up for anything. I cannot give it up.
I'm a dirty two-timing kind of person, so I can go either way. Like the passport again is just, I freaking love that thing. I fell in love with it again today, and on my Z10 and Z30 and this DTEC and even on the Priv or whatever, the virtual keyboard is like old home week. I love it too, so I can kind of go either way on it. So fill your boots, people. BlackBerry has what you want.
Burke says, just as he thought it was a mistake to remind people of outdated games such as Brick Breaker when the Classic was launched, I don't think they should remind people of other old BlackBerry technology. I agree with that, and God, I miss Brick Breaker. I really do. I kind of want to jump into another realm real quick, and just because this is something that I've been frustrated this week, right? We've been pushing and pushing all this new BlackBerry stuff, and remember when we talked to Marty Beard, how he talked about how it's frustrating when you throw out this new tech, this new item, this new thing that BlackBerry is doing, and the first question is, where's BlackBerry 10? Well, I'm getting really frustrated that there still seems to be a war between the people, right? There's a war between the BlackBerry 10 users. There is a war. Actually, I don't think there is a war from the BlackBerry Android people going back to the BlackBerry 10 people. I think it's one side is just angry, and I understand the anger because every single one of us here is a BlackBerry fan. A BlackBerry 10 fan. I know that for a fact, and all of us wish that BlackBerry 10 was getting the love that BlackBerry Android is, but I think we all have our own reasons and ideas about why that's not taking place. To me, it goes back to the privacy versus security, because the one thing that really cheesed me off this week, and if this person's listening, he'll know exactly what I'm talking about, was coming in and saying the minute that you use a BlackBerry Android phone, no matter, an Android phone, no matter if it's BlackBerry or somebody else, you're giving up everything. You've been compromised. You have no security. That's wrong. It's completely wrong, and that's what started the conversation about security and privacy. You can be private on a BlackBerry Android phone. Here, don't wave, Mr. YouTube. But if you don't want to use Google services, you don't have to. Yes, you need a Google account to download apps, right? But so you make yourself a Gmail so that you can download apps from Google Play. You don't ever have to use it.
You don't even need a Gmail. You don't have, I think, Outlook or Hotmail or something else. You don't need a Gmail. I think.
No, not to access. You need a Google. No, you need a Google account to be able to access the Google Play Store.
Oh.
But what you can do
doesn't mean that you have to use it.
Yeah, no, I don't use junk mail.
That's my junk mail account. Yeah.
And what you can do also, if you don't ever want to even use Google Play, is there are third-party Android app stores out there, but those are even worse to use because there's a lot of crap in there that'll mess up your phone real bad and steal your information and all sorts of stuff. So, I
was goofing around one day and tried to get something working on my phone from an alternate source, and it was not funny. We're talking about factory reset.
I don't even know what you're trying to do. Well, let me ask a question. Let's get back on topic real quick. Let me ask a question. What is the difference? What do you guys think is the difference between somebody on a BlackBerry Android phone that doesn't use YouTube, Google Maps, Google Now, doesn't use a Gmail account as their primary, versus somebody on a BB10 phone that's hacking the Google Play Store to put it on their phone, that has a Snap on it, that's downloading all of their Android apps that way? Isn't that a huge case of throwing stones while you're living in a glass house?
In a way it is. you know, I do have the Play Store on my passport. I don't really use it. I've probably got maybe 1 or 2 Android apps that I have downloaded on there. And same on the Priv or any BlackBerry Android device. I do have a Gmail account simply for the Play Store. I'm like Dave. I don't use the Google apps. Unless you're getting into apps like Facebook, possibly Instagram, and ones like that that are siphoning off your information. I can't see any difference at all between the two.
Yeah, I'm sure that what I'm doing, there is an increased, I don't know how incremental, I don't know what the percentage is, but there's an increased amount of information that I've given away, possibly, just because of the operating system that I'm running. And to go along with what Wayno is saying, you know, I don't use Google Chrome on the phone. I don't use, you know, Hey Google or whatever it is, the voice activation. I don't use Google Maps. I don't use anything except for YouTube, like Brad likes to point out. And that history I've gone and nuked. Maybe I'll do a blog on that. You can kill everything that Google looks at.
But you can kill everything that Google looks at in Chrome. You can do that in
Yeah,
Maps.
I know that, but I just prefer not to have to
Delete it in the first place.
That's right. So I use alternate things. But the question was, you know, what's the difference between what I'm doing, which is probably the most paranoid, along with Wayno, not paranoid, but the most cautious use of an Android device compared to the abandoned use case of a BB10 user who is got the Google Play Store on there through various means and is using as much of the Google apps as they possibly can, including Maps and this and that and the other thing. So what's the difference between the two? I don't know. Both OSs are non-rootable, so your security is the same as far as I'm concerned. That to me is.
But you choose how much privacy you want. You choose how much data you want to share, and that is the difference.
Preach, Roy, go.
And in a way, you're choosing the amount of security you have too, as far as downloading.
No, your security is set by BlackBerry.
Hang on, let me finish. As
well,
far
let
as
Roy
downloading,
finish first.
Okay.
Let's split it into two. First of all, if you use a regular Android, you are not secure. And maybe if you're paranoid, you will have more privacy. But if you compare Android BlackBerry to BlackBerry 10, they both secure. You can't root them, you can't hack them, and the only difference is by the privacy. And much users are afraid from Google or Facebook, and that's okay. But if you use Foursquare or any other app that uses your location, you give up your privacy. Now it's your true choice. What kind of privacy you're willing to give? I don't care if some apps know what is my location, because I need those apps. I use those apps, but I will not give Google and Facebook all the data they want to take from me. I do use some apps that can expose my privacy, but it's not kind of privacy that I don't willing to give.
Okay, what were you saying?
Okay, I think that's what it comes down to, is just vulnerabilities. We all are vulnerable in different ways. We just have to decide what level of vulnerability we feel okay.
Well, that's great, and it should be all about choice. You know, you should be able to be as private as you can or want to be, and or you should be able to be as exposed as you want to be, or whatever. It's your choice to me, giving away all of the things that Google wants me to have, or Facebook, is just completely ridiculous. And for other people, you know, that's not the case. So people, it's exactly what Brad was saying. You have a choice. We have secure devices, so that's okay. Have a choice every day concerning what apps we use and the permissions that we give them, because you're allowed to put Facebook on there and kill the camera. You know, it's your choice what you want to do with it, and those are the tools that I like, and I've shut down as much as I can from a usability and peeping perspective. And other people are more lax. That's their business. If they want to make Google rich, that's their. I choose not to give them my information at all without paying me for it.
Well, let's be honest too. And I mean, just to step back, just a short minute. I don't like Erica saying we're vulnerable. We're making ourselves vulnerable just because vulnerability is a term used in cybersecurity as, you know, a software vulnerability. I totally get what she's saying, and she's totally right. But it's not a vulnerability. It's a privacy issue, not a security issue. I don't know a better way to put it than what she put it. I just that word was kind of like a hot spot for me. But someone that says I'm putting myself at risk by being on BlackBerry Android, by going from BB10 to BlackBerry Android, they are wrong. That's all there is to it. As far as the security level at this point, it may not have all the certificates. It does not. But it's unrootable. People aren't getting hacked. What is out there is what people are allowing out there. And I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret that anybody knows that has a BlackBerry Android device and has a DTEC. Yes, the core Android apps, Maps, you know, OK Google. I'm trying to think what the core Google apps are.
Gmail.
They're not being tracked by DTEC. Right. They're not being tracked by DTEC. They're not telling us anything. But there are other Google apps out there that are being tracked by DTEC. I've got a photo editing app by Google, Snapseed, and I know that there's others that do it. Snapseed never shows up in DTEC. It's not grabbing any information. It's not doing any of that. I've got Waze, also owned by Google. It's looking up my location because it's a mapping app.
Right.
But it's not grabbing anything else.
Right. So
I mean, we know what Google is collecting on us. They're grabbing our usage to use for advertising. So I totally expect Google Maps to be grabbing information on my location. I totally expect YouTube to be grabbing information on my viewing habits. And I personally don't have a problem with that. I am using now the OK Google because it's really freaking convenient. And the stuff that I'm asking it is stuff that I'm okay with Google knowing. You know, if I want to know the number for Straw Hat Pizza, I don't care if Google knows that I'm hungry for pizza right now. But
I do.
The issue is that there's so many people. I mean, you go back through our channel, and you have certain hotspots. You have things that people will unite and jump and run to our channel and make comments about. And one of those things is I refuse to use BlackBerry Android because I'm a BlackBerry 10 fan and I'm unsecure for it. I want Facebook. I'm upset that our Facebook app isn't what I want it to be. I need to get Facebook on there. I'm going to put it. Now, we also know that Facebook, more than anyone out there, collects all kinds of information that they don't need on us. And they're not as foregoing as Google. We know what Google's collecting on us. We know why Google's collecting it on us. We know because we keep track of it what Facebook is collecting on us, and we know that they're collecting it to sell it.
Yeah,
to me, that's a big difference.
I wonder how many people are mad about that and also use WhatsApp.
Exactly. WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, any of Facebook Messenger. You cannot have those apps on your BlackBerry 10 phone and then complain that I'm risking more because I'm on a BlackBerry Android
I know,
phone.
but just to be clear and just to be fair and just to be honest, which is, I swear I wasn't going to be that today. But anyway, just to be honest, if you go look through DTech, the DTech app on your Black Droid phone, like on my DTech 60 right now, I'm cruising through it, and there is no Google Chrome in there.
No, that's a core app. That's what I said. The core apps are not being tracked by DTech.
That's my point. It's you have to understand that DTech is not looking at those things, and that was probably part of the deal.
But they are looking at other Google apps. They're not looking at the Google core Android apps, but they are looking at other Google apps, and that's what I'm telling you. Snapseed, Waze.
So
they're not collecting information.
I know. So my point is, that's probably why I don't use them.
That's fine, and you don't have to
see what's going on. So forget that. I don't use Chrome because it's not in the list.
Well, I just want to say that personally, for BB10 users to complain about not wanting to use a BlackBerry Android device because of Google, but then they go and they download Play Store and Android apps onto their phone, I think that's just kind of hypocritical. You're bashing Google and you're bashing Android, but you want the Android runtime to be updated so you can get the latest Android apps like Google Maps and such on your BB10 device. I think that's really hypocritical. And it's like I want my cake and I want to eat it too.
Yeah, and that's fair, but I think there's also a bunch of people that want the runtime updated so they can have that app that their workplace wants. You know what I mean? It might have absolutely nothing to do with whatever the hell Google is, but they need that particular app. What I was doing today with my passport was trying to get an Android app running that the manufacturer said they doesn't work and isn't supported. Well, got it working. So that has nothing to do with Google at all.
Dave, Aaron asks, what browser do you use since you don't use Chrome?
Currently, I'm using Ghostery. I did a blog on that. Ghostery.
What were you using before that?
I was using Dolphin, and before that, I was using Firefox.
Okay.
Yeah, I use Firefox.
Oh, wait, no, perfect. Okay, then go head over to CVE details and see which one is more secure, Chrome or Firefox. Firefox is one of the top 10 highest vulnerabilities of all operating systems.
Yeah, but that's an operating system, not a browser.
Well, no, but go look at it. Don't make me go look at it right now, but go look. And then, because that whole thing, I'm not going to use Chrome, I'm going to use Firefox. It's like, whoa, now you're putting yourself at risk of hacks instead of just...
You're not going to go look at it, but I have to go look at it right now. Okay.
Go look at it.
Well, to be honest, I'm not. Firefox is on there, but I've got about 2 or 3 other browsers that I was doing reviews on a couple of months ago and writing articles on. So Firefox is one of them. In all honesty, I don't really use the browser on the Priv. Everything's done on the Passport, but I'm just trying to think of the other one. There was another browser, I can't think of the name of it now. Dolphin was one of them, but then I had issues getting on, I think, the UTB site or one of the other sites that I was visiting, so I got off Dolphin. But there's about 2 or 3 other browsers that I did found quite good on there.
Top 50 products by total number of distinct vulnerabilities. Number 3 is Firefox. Number 4 is Chrome. Of course, number 1 is Mac OS X. And number 5 is the first mobile OS on here, which is the iPhone OS. All of these have higher amounts of vulnerabilities than the Flash player that the technology community says has to go away because it's so insecure.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah. The Flash Player is so insecure, we need to kill it off. Meanwhile, iPhone has more, Chrome has more, Firefox has more, Linux kernel has more, and Mac OS X, #1 in terms of highest number of distinct vulnerabilities out of all products. Just saying.
Yep. Well, it's things like that that keep me using BlackBerries.
Yeah. I mean, people. Okay, I want to step back again because I'm so frustrated with this because Monkey was the first one that jumped on this. Right now, we all know Monkey, and Monkey is a bit psychotic when it comes to these things.
Oh, come on.
I love Monkey. Don't get me wrong, but the man is a psycho, and I think that's why we like him. He's not using Android apps. He's not on Facebook. He's not on social media. We had to force him to use BBM channels. We had to force him onto BB10. I
am the captain of getting him on BB10.
Yeah. So I get when he's sitting there saying it, that's okay. But when you get 5 comments for every Android post saying, "Oh, you're making a deal with the devil." When Anthony is saying you're making a deal with an Android because you're on the Googles, and we know that he's out there using Android apps, it's like, come on, buddy. It's like, just stop. And if you think because you're using Facebook on BB10 that you're totally safe, you're wrong, because what's happening on Facebook is not only happening on your device. It's happening on Facebook. It's all there. It's all being collected. It's going to their servers. They know you. They got you.
You mean what's happening?
Yeah.
Because
there's a simple fix for that. Stay off Facebook.
Oh,
yeah,
I agree,
exactly.
buddy. I totally
totally deleted it off my phone. I don't have automatic logins on my browsers. Just forget it. If I get a notification that I need to go look at or think I need to, then I'll go look at it. Otherwise, that stuff doesn't touch me. I hate their business practice. And last time I logged in was like 3 years ago, or not 3 years ago, 3 days ago. I saw absolute fake news on the side. Absolute, unadulterated fake news. Well, I'm sorry, but if that's what you're going to do and promote and provide people, you are the suckiest, worst organization on planet freaking Earth. You're going to tell me that somebody died when they didn't die. There's this ad there, so-and-so, oh man, we'll miss him, and whatever it said. And it's all, sorry, but bullshit. What a bullshit company, Facebook. Yeah, let it
We just went to fake news.
Yeah, let it sink in. Bullshit.
See what I was saying, Burke? We're opposite sides. But anyway, the privacy is a choice. Jumping on BlackBerry Android is not automatically giving away your privacy. It's definitely not giving away your security. I've seen people say that they were going to stick with BB10 until it stops working, and then they're going to go to iPhone, which is friggin' hilarious. Stick with BB10. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon, but to even consider iPhone as an option as opposed to BlackBerry Android, it makes me laugh.
Yeah. Hey, listen, people. You know that they used to open your phone on an iPhone? Well, Apple has a patent out there to be able to share it for whatever reason they want. Go look it up. There's a patent out there to be able to share it for whatever reasons. It's not going, even if it is just stored on your phone today, I tell you, it's going to change. Just like WhatsApp changed when Facebook bought them. It's going to change.
Anyone else have anything to add to that?
You know what? My soapbox has been well used today. I'm done.
I think we're all done.
Well,
just before we do go, there's a vote going on in Gadget for the Engadget.com for the best People's Choice Awards from CES, and the BlackBerry Mercury was listed in the finalists, so you can actually get on there. We'll post the link up.
I already tweeted you.
That's what I'm reading, your tweet.
That's where I got the news from, I bet you.
I did. So, yeah, we'll post the link up on the site, and you can get on there and vote for the BlackBerry Mercury. Let's try and push this thing for the People's Choice Award.
I did.
Which site?
Right.
Which site is this?
Engadget.
Engadget.com.
Okay.
It's all good.
All right, shall we call it, Erica?
Yes, let's call it Erica.
Erica's gone to sleep.
Please, please.
Wake up.
UTB Blogcast number 69, named Erica.
Yeah. We'll call it Erica.
Yay. I feel
No,
special.
guys.
Let's say good night.
Good night, folks.
Good night.
Microwave for
Good
you.
night.